On our never-ending quest for traction, we put a one-piece aluminum drive shaft in our Charger. So for this project, you're gonna need a torque wrench, 3/8, 1/2 inch to 3/8 adapter, 1/2 inch extension, 3/8 extension, 3/8 ratchet, 16 millimeter deep well 1/2 inch, 16 millimeter 3/8, 13 millimeter 3/8, 10 millimeter 3/8, a long flathead screwdriver, tape measure, T50 Torx bit on a socket, 8 millimeter Allen key on a socket, 3/8 impact, 1/2 inch impact. One last thing, you also need some type of crowbar. Now you need to jack up the rear end. So first we're gonna start with a 13 depot and take off the cross member nuts. Next we're gonna remove the rearmost exhaust hanger bolts. They are 13 millimeter. We're gonna use a 6-inch extension. Now we remove the exhaust from the hanger next to the exhaust valve. Recommend having 2 people to do this. Don't forget to disconnect the active exhaust valves. Using a pry bar, just pry it out. I'm gonna take off the exhaust from the headers with a 16 millimeter. Also disconnect the O2 sensors. You're also gonna need a 6-inch extension. Now we're gonna remove the exhaust shield nuts, 10 millimeter. Look how restricted this exhaust is, dude. Massive restriction. So now we're gonna remove the front and rear drive shaft bolts. It is a T50 Torx bit. We're also gonna use a 6-inch extension. Now we're gonna start with an open header dump. Ready to go put the car in drive for a second so the drive shaft will spin around and I get access to the other 2 bolts. Now all I did was upgrade to the big guns, still on the T50. Alright, now front and rear are loose. Now we're gonna remove the carrier bearing with 13 millimeter. The one with 3 brackets is for the front. The one with 4 is for the rear. Now we're gonna install the new aluminum drive shaft. Start by putting the front end first and then the rear. Now we hand tighten these. Now we're gonna put the rear ones in. Now we're gonna hand tighten all these bolts and then we're gonna go through and torque them in a star pattern. Now we're gonna torque the drive shaft bolts with a 8 millimeter Allen at 86 foot-pounds in a star pattern. Now we're gonna do the exact same thing for the front. You're gonna have to put the car in drive and start it to rotate the drive shaft again to get the other 2 bolts. Now that we got it rotated, we're gonna finish it off. Discard the exhaust shield because it doesn't fit the drive shaft. All right, now we're gonna reinstall the exhaust. I'm just gonna leave those loose for now. Now we're gonna reinstall the furthermost rear exhaust hangers. Okay, leave one side out. You can get this other exhaust hanger in. There we go. All right, now we reinstall valve actuator connections. Now we're gonna tighten the exhaust manifold nuts with a 16 millimeter. Reinstall O2 sensor. I'll reinstall the cross member. We got lucky and we had no drive shaft interference with the exhaust.